going on, guys? The fat, awkward kid from every 90s sitcom here, all grown up and willing to do whatever it takes to get famous on the internet. Or you can just call me Yuri Villette. Anyways, today we're going to talk about something very near and dear to my heart, which is pewpews. And if you don't know what pewpews are, well, I can't help you because, I'm an American. If you're not, I don't fucking care. That's a joke, by the way. Anyways, today we're going to talk about this particular pewpew right here. The Glock 17 Generation 5 9mm pistol. Now, what makes this thing great is the fact that, I'm going to back up a little bit so I'm able to fucking view the camera. What makes this thing great, I keep doing that. What makes this thing great is that it is your standard 9mm handgun. Pew pew. Anyways. Standard 9mm handgun. All you need to know about this is that it's just a very simple and easy to use kind of pew-pew, firearm, weapon, whatever you want to call it. Just don't call it the G word. Holds with a total of 17 rounds in this particular magazine right here, with one in the chamber for a total of 18 rounds, if you so choose. Me being a lover of freedom seeds, I like as many as I can get. Now that being said, basically the Glock 17, almost said the 19, basically the Glock 17 is your everyday service pistol. If you were in law enforcement, maybe special forces, military, it's a bit of a reliable handgun in that I've seen people literally drop it in the mud, pull it out, and keep firing. It's that kind of gun. Pew pew. I'm sorry. Anyways, it's one of those things where if you're not very familiar with pew-pews in general, this is probably one of the things that you should be looking into. Very lightweight, easy to use, easy to clean. Breaks down in a second. I'd show you, but I've kind of screwed up my takedown on this, so I've got to get that fixed before I can take it down again. Anyways, it's a very good handgun, pew-pew, and pew-pew. Dispenses your freedom seeds as easily as it possibly can. And it's fairly cheap for what you pay. This runs about $5.99 retail. It's not too bad when you consider that there are pew-pews out there in the pistol variety that can run upwards of $1,500. Now, being as it's 9mm, of course the caliber is not that great compared to, say, a 40 caliber or a 45. And right out of the box, you do notice some flaws on this. I hate to say that because I am such a Glock fanboy that I would do anything for that. But you can't really see it. And yes, I'm pointing the barrel directly at me. Don't be like me. If it'll focus, right there, your side alignment. There you go. Your side alignment's fine. However, your front sights, mine at least, had a little bit of extra plastic on them. Not the greatest thing. I did have to file them down, and my rear sights had to be filed as well as the paint on the rear sight is starting to thin out a little bit. I will say, though, for what I paid for it, which was a lot less than what retail is, this was, my cat's freaking out over there, this was probably one of the greatest hand pew-pews that I could have gotten. Super easy to use, reliable, hasn't jammed up on me, and I've put quite a few freedom seeds out of this bad boy. Or girl. I don't gender my weapons. It's probably, I will say, I have dropped it a few times, so you can see right there, kind of. I've got a little bit of scratching on there. You can see on my slide releases, it's starting to wear down from the oils of my fingers. And my trigger is not set properly. But once again, I've done something to this, and I need to go get it repaired. Now, that being said, I've said it before, I'll say it again, probably 6 more times in this video. It's a very reliable firearm. Something that you can use that will basically, shut up computer, that will basically help you out in a day-to-day situation. It's a good handgun for pew-pew. It's a good pew-pew for everyday home defense, everyday carry, if you can stand having this thing jam into your gut. I carry it as a personal carry. However, you can see the G on the bottom of the magazine has indented into me before. I've literally been branded by Glock. So, that being said, Glock, if you're willing to sponsor me, I have absolutely no followers. No one's going to watch this video, and people generally don't like me. Anyways, guys, it's a safe, reliable bet. It's something that you can take out to the range, put as many freedom seeds as you want through it. It's not going to jam up. It's not going to crud up. You take it down, clean it. Hell, I've even cleaned this thing without taking it apart. That's not true. I always take it apart to clean it. Though I do know people who will clean theirs without taking it apart, and they've had their models for years. I've had this thing for about a year and a half now. I've cleaned it twice because I'm lazy, and I've put way too many rounds through there to only have cleaned it twice. Now that being said, it is still a fantastic pew-pew, super reliable, super good to have, easy to maintain, easy to use. My cat is being really annoying today. I don't know if you can see, I've got a big ass mirror back here because it was right here, and I don't want to look at myself looking at myself because I already am looking at myself. By the way, if you didn't know that this is the first video I put out on this channel, well, now you do. Slide release. The slide is very good on this. Super easy to pull back. Slide release, pull it back, lock it in, there you go. Magazine. There you go. It is empty, don't worry. I do not keep these loaded while I'm doing this, or while cleaning. That's a very important step. Don't keep these loaded while you clean them. Back on track. The Glock 17 Generation 5 9mm, well, it's always going to be a 9mm, is probably one of the most reliable handguns ever made. Now, Glock does stress test theirs. However, if you look it up online, you'll find a multitude of people who have stress tested theirs. I would love to go to the range and show you guys exactly how reliable and effective and safe this gun is, though the range I go to doesn't exactly allow people to sit there and record while the range is hot. Go figure. This is America. But, that being said, the gun is not, the pew-pew is not without its flaws. It does have its flaws. Inherently, the trigger is not as great as some of the other models. For instance, the Glock 19 or the Glock 43X actually have a better trigger pull than your 17 does. That being said, the 17 does have an advantage for big guys like me. You can't really tell, but I'm 6'2", about 230-something pounds. Although I've been working on that, I'm trying to lose weight. It's very easy to hold in my hands, especially with a full magazine. It's very easy for me to hold, to keep my sight alignment set, to keep my hands in the right positioning, get my trigger reset, all there. Very good, very reliable. I know I'm not good at this, guys, but it's, I'm working on it. Anyways, this particular pew-pew, if I had to rate it, I'd give it probably an 8 out of 10. Damn near perfect firearm, especially for beginners. I know I was a beginner when I picked it up. Intermediate, I would say. I've had a lot of training with pistols especially. Now that being said, I would recommend this for anybody looking for maybe a first-time firearm, maybe something that you want to practice with at the range, maybe something that you want to just have around because it looks scary. Although this thing looks like a rectangle sitting on top of more rectangles. So, if you're afraid of geometry, ooh. Safe, reliable, practical. 9mm ammunition is cheap if you've never gone to maybe a pew-pew store or a sporting goods store. The 9mm 9mm ammo, one of the cheapest you can get. You know, I mean, unless you're getting a 22 LR. 22 LR is going to be cheap, no matter what. Even when there's a pandemic and people buy them on freedom seats. I can't speak highly enough of this particular firearm. And when I mean it's safe is, let me get back up into the camera view. You see this little double divot right here? Boop, boop, boop. Don't worry, it's not loaded. And I can't pull it back right now. This little divot right here is actually the safety of the firearm. Now, really shouldn't do this, but just to show you, I can put that little divot in, pull it in, push it in, however you want to say it, squeeze it, that's the proper term. You squeeze that little divot, the gun is still not firing. You put a little more pressure, still not. Has to go all the way back, but unless this divot is pushed in, the gun, pew pew, will not fire. As you can see, I'm trying to do it from the sides without pushing this in, and it is not going. This particular pistol, as I've said, is one of the most reliable pistols that you can own. Super easy to clean, super easy to maintain, super easy to keep yourself on track with what you're doing. It's a good, reliable pew-pew. You're not going to go wrong with this. If anybody wants to share this to Glock, man, I'd be more than happy to write up a bunch more reviews on this thing. The only flaws I've really said are my front and rear sights needed to be filed a little bit. There was a little bit of extra on there. I screwed up my trigger. I can't really hold that against them. That's something that I've done. But the trigger pull is not as good as it is on the 43X or the 19X. I'll make another video on that later. And my magazine release has gotten stuck a few times. Now, that's probably just from me being out there and putting hundreds, possibly thousands of freedom seeds out of this and not properly ejecting the magazine, as my hands do get tired. However, this thing is a fantastic weapon. I highly recommend that anybody who is interested in picking up a handgun, get one. It's very easy to practice with, very safe, reliable handgun. I'm repeating myself at this point. If you're not already sold, go check out other guys on YouTube. Watch them shoot it. I've got my targets from ranges that I've been to. I'd bring them out, but I don't feel like walking off camera right now. Also, I'm trapped in like 6,000 cords. But that's enough from me. If you enjoyed this, if you want me to make more, if you want to tell me to shut my mouth and never make another video again, like, subscribe, leave a comment, share it with your friends. Please, I'm desperate. Kidding, of course. Not about the liking and subscribing, commenting, and sharing with your friends, but, you know, this is just a little side project that I've been doing. If you guys want to see more stuff, let me know. If not, let me know that too. Anyways, guys, my name is Yuri Villette, V-O-L-L-E-T-E. Look for me on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, Discord, Patreon if you're into that sort of thing. Let me know what you think.